So how do you log your learnings when you're reading books in the physical world? And that's what this post is all about. Last week, I mentioned to everybody that I'm writing a book, and what I'm doing is I'm logging all of my learnings from the digital world, any articles which are online or PDFs which are online using the Readwise app or the Reader app, which I've used for a long time now. And I find it fantastic to log, categorize, tag, comment on, and I find that brilliant. But I can't do that with physical books because obviously a book is in isolation, it's a physical thing, and it's very difficult to do that. And so some of you very kindly gave me their advice, your advice as to how you do it. And you know, the classic thing is always using highlighters and little post-it notes to log learnings. But there are a few other additional ideas which everybody's sort of operating slightly differently, and I wanted to bring sort of all those learnings I took from everybody's advice into the way that the structure and the strategy that myself and my co-author Dr. Amy Redmond are doing for our book about digital transformation in the built environment. So I'm just going to share with you a few little tips and the structure and how we're doing it. So the first thing, it's all well and good reading, but what's going to be really important is actually having a structure to sort of catalogue the learnings around certain themes. And so for us about the book, and this could be the same if you're writing an article, it's about having an idea of what you're trying to extrapolate from all the various books that you're reading. And so for us, it's about having a framework around what digital transformation means. In our case, we've actually got 8/9 different sort of verticals, I suppose you want to look at it. And so these are the verticals that we're looking at. Obviously leadership, culture, customer, all those sorts of things are there. But we've also got two sides where case studies, where we want to pull case studies in the industry so that we can demonstrate to people what we're doing. But also there may be other things which other industries are doing that we want to be able to apply those learnings into the real estate and actually do that. So these are all of the areas that we're looking at. This is where the post-it notes come in. I've color-coded post-it notes based on the particular vertical that we're doing. And then when I'm reading through the book, my first step is actually to go through and obviously, as most of you will do, is highlight and scribble and comment, which is great. But then I finish the book, I go back, and then all of the scribbles and the learnings that I do, I then catalogue based on, and this is an extreme version by the way, but I then catalogue all of those scribbles to a particular area, whether that be strategy or leadership or whatever. And I take that and I then use the platform Otter. This was recommended to me by someone, I'm so sorry I can't remember your name, to then transcribe. So you'll see here, this book is actually the Digital Transformation book by David Rogers, a playbook. And this is an extreme example because there's so many takeaways about building frameworks and strategies. But I then transcribe my general feeling of the book at the top, and I then go in and I break it down. So blue for me in here is the leadership takeaways that I've got, and I will then transcribe anything that I think is particularly important into Otter. And that for me, I then go through all of them. So leadership, I'll do culture, company, competitors, etc., etc. And then I can do one of two things here. I can leave it at that and just leave it here, or I can share it. And in this case, I'm sharing it with my co-author, Amy, or I'm actually going in here and I can export this sort of data. So I'm now digitizing the physical book and I'm converting it into a PDF. And I think it was Mark Dansky who says he takes PDFs and he writes everything out and then prints it, so he's got copies of everything that's been written. But I'm not going to do that, but I could do it. I'm going to export the PDF, and this is where I'm going to go back to my Readwise app, which is here, or Reader, as some of you will know of it as. And this is where I'm able to log all of my my digital bits and pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the PDF in here, and I'm going to then go back in, and everything that I've highlighted from Otter will come in here, and I'm able then to actually to tag the article. So I'll go in here, add a document tag, and I'm able to put book, let's say strategy, because that was one of them. And what that then enables me to do is digitize that experience and bring everything together. So I'm now going to go back and show you that I've got on here some of the searches that I have, and in this case I can bring in innovation theory, for example, and there's nothing here because I've read everything and this is my unseen bit, but I've got all the articles that I have read previously and tagged so that I can basically group everything together that I need to then reread and write about in that chapter. In this case, it's about innovation theory, but that could be about leadership, culture, competitors, and so forth. And it allows Amy and myself to look at this and gather everything together digitally so that we can then write the book. So I appreciate there's little bit of a long way of doing it, but I do think that the core foundation of all of this is going straight in and understanding the sort of the filing cabinet of your learnings. And that doesn't matter if it's digital or physical, because ultimately grouping them together and then finding something. And by the way, there are so many different otters, equivalents of transcription AIs, but then grouping them into one place. And for me, that's Reader, Readwise. And I'm able to import, export, tag whatever in one place. And it's that sort of two things, which is structure and then having a single source of where everything is stored, which I think, whether you're writing articles or just storing it for your own good, is absolutely pivotal for everything that you're doing. So I hope that helps understand how to extract learnings from physical books and digitize them to some extent. Any thoughts? Let me know.